Hello, hello. Can you guys see me? Okay, good. Sorry, we are having a little bit of technical issues, but we are up and running. How are you? Happy Friday. So, today we are doing a beautiful live stream, hopefully, on what is holding you back. Sorry, I always start these off so weird because I get so nervous, but I really shouldn't. So I'm going to slow down and start this over. So, hello. I always look forward to doing our live streams on Friday. And I did just want to mention, I had a comment where someone was like, I really love the live streams, but are you doing any pre-recorded videos? And the answer is absolutely yes. Like, the live streams have never been meant to replace the pre-recorded videos. And I always do them over on Patreon. We do 2 every single month. But those should be back up and running. The pre-recordeds do take a little bit more out of me for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I'm just like tapping into your energy live. I have no idea, but they do take a little bit more out of me. And so I've just kind of had to ebb and flow here with my energy. And this has been a really beautiful, really wonderful, nice change of pace. And honestly, I look forward to the live streams here and on Patreon. It's just a really beautiful ritual getting to connect with you guys. And I hope that you feel like it's been a beautiful ritual for you and that we've all been connecting and being a supportive community for each other as we're all kind of like navigating through life. So, okay. Thank you so much, Catherine. I made that piece of artwork there in the background. Just saying, I'm so proud of it. I tell everyone. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our reading. And like I said earlier, we are oh, you guys are so sweet. We are doing this message of what is holding you back. And my intention with this is to have kind of a broad definition. So if you have a specific question in mind of like what's holding you back in career or love, if you have like something specific, then maybe the answer will come here in the reading. But if it's just more general, like overall and your soul journey, what's holding you back, hopefully we can find some answers here too. I'm having kind of a loose definition and we'll just see what comes through in the piles. And I'm just going to follow the energy kind of like wherever it's going. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the piles. And remember, I'm not shuffling the piles on camera. Alex, my husband, he actually shuffles the piles. He's an intuitive as well. And that way we can get the thumbnail up and running with the piles on there so you can sit and meditate while you're waiting for the chat to start. So I've already got the piles here. So pile number 1 is the underworld. This is pile 1. And pile number 2 is the mentor. And pile number 3 is apocalypsis. I'm just noticing these all have the same color palette and it's all kind of like, you know, dark and dreary and like heavy. So it makes sense that this is all showing up for a blockage reading. So I'm going to hold all of them up together. So pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3, so you can meditate on this. And let's go ahead and get into this reading. Okay. So for pile number 1, this underworld energy. Ooh, okay. So this one, there's a lot that's coming up here for this one. And I don't know why I want to say this. I want to issue a bit of a trigger warning. And I kind of want to tell you that I feel nervous about this. I feel nervous about potentially triggering you and hurting your feelings or something like that, even though I can kind of understand that you're here doing spiritual work and you're strong and you are wanting to do this. But even though I might feel like it's necessary, I'm feeling like some restriction. I really don't want to do this. And Spirit is saying that's the reason we're wanting you to do it, is because you don't want to do this. So I feel like you could be dealing with somebody here or a situation where their intention is not to trigger you. Their intention is not to harm you. They're not coming for you in any way. And I just heard it's not her. It's not her fault, or something like that. So I don't know if there's a conflict with a woman here, and it's not coming through what woman this could be. This could be a mom, this could be a friend, this could be a sister, I don't know. But I'm hearing it's not her fault. And there seems to be, like, as I'm saying that, some echoey, like some projection, like coming back and forth. So, and I'm hearing the word competition. Quiet competition that's really coming through here for this as well. And I feel like this is an underworld journey, and like when I tap into this, it's like this part of me, and which I feel like is connecting with this part of you that just feels like afraid or shy or inadequate or something like that. And I feel like you're the type of person where it's like maybe you don't compete like in an overt way. And this is reminding me of something that I heard a doctorate say at some lecture. She was studying competition actually, and she said it's a fallacy to say that women do not compete with one another. We absolutely do. It's just some of the ways that we compete don't look like competition, and in our mind we kind of don't process them as competition. So I feel like there might be some kind of place in your life where it's like you want to kind of notice again like this ego identity sort of aspect of something. Oh, I feel like it's okay, so this person, I get it. So there's some kind of like conflict that you're having with a female. It feels very much like a female, and it first of all is indicative of an inner conflict that you have, but they're meant to trigger this wound in you because this wound is actually blocking you in other aspects of your life. This wanting to compete, knowing you have to compete, but then not overtly competing. And so what I think you end up doing is you end up competing in quiet ways but it has to do with your ego identity. So it's like, well, I'm above it all, or I would never do this, or I would never do that. So in my mind, it's like I'm saying that that's virtuous, and it may well be. That's a virtuous way of being, but it's something that I consider superior, even if it is, spiritual, or I'm too kind-hearted, to roll around in the mud with you. But instead, I'm just going to, I don't know, something like this, something like that. And because of it, it's preventing you from moving in the ways that you actually need to move. It's preventing you from flowing in the ways that you actually do need to flow, because you do need to ebb and flow. And there might be something here that like needs to come up and out, or there may be something here where it's like, it's okay for you to compete. It's okay for you to go after that job or that promotion. It's okay for you to say that you want something and that you want it badly and you feel like you're the best fit for it. And, but it's a matter of like being direct about it, because I feel like there's like, you're having to work around this structure in your mind, this ego identity of, well, I'm this person, therefore I feel like there's something here that your guides are wanting to point out. You have these like hard nevers. Like, I will never do this. I will never do that. I will never not do that. I'll never such and such. Oh, my husband said this beautiful quote to me recently, and I'm getting this. He said, it was this concept that he was really thinking about and saw the beauty in, and it said, be sure to never let your morality stand in the way of doing what's right. And I feel like there may be something like that here, where it's like you have this moral system, which is essentially training wheels of like, okay, this is how I want to show up in the world. This is the right way to be or the wrong way to be. And that's helpful to a point, just the way that the bumpers are helpful when you're learning how to bowl, and all the little gadgets for toddlers when they're learning how to walk. It's helpful to stand up on the couch, but eventually you have to kind of practice without it. And I feel like you're reaching this precipice point, but you're scared not to, because it would mean stepping out of your own ego identity. And so I think even the way that you relate to ego maybe needs to change as well, because it's not just like people who are bullish that are egoic. Ego can show up as being shy, because you have such a strong sense of ego that you're not wanting to be, you're afraid of being seen as inadequate. And because there could be a subtle belief here that if you compete directly, that you will be found inadequate. So instead you just kind of like keep everything closed off, when you would be much better off if you went after something directly. And I feel like this is your shadow self, because I'm kind of getting this image of like, your shadow self is like strong, and I'm picturing somebody kind of just like crying and just frustrated and feeling impotent, alone in like a dark corner or something, feeling sorry for themselves and telling themselves that they're not strong. They're, things just never work out for them. They're having a hard time, and your shadow self is like, no, it's not you. You have this other part to you that you're just refusing for whatever reason to tap into, because you're too like moral for it, or you're too this for it or that for it. But in reality, it's like you bump up against some obstacles where the world, like the situation, people, the world, what have you, would actually be better served of you demonstrating your strength. Not being mean. And I think that's another thing, is like, maybe you have been told, and I feel like this was something that was meant to keep you disempowered, like when you were younger, to keep you from like not acting out. I feel like especially girls experience this, but a lot of men experience this too. You know how they say like girls mature quicker than boys, and a lot of people are pushing back on that and saying like, no, girls are just expected to behave a certain way, and therefore just kind of tuck all their little feathers in and stuff. I feel like you could have been subjected to that, where it was really meant to kind of keep you in line or to keep you behaving or something. So you equated that with being mean, like you being direct, you being straightforward, you being blunt. But bluntness is like, here's the truth of it. I really don't have the energy, nor should I be expected to have the energy to sugarcoat this for you. If you're too sensitive, if you're like Humpty Dumpty, or I'm picturing like the royalty that has like hemophilia and they had to be carried everywhere. Or remember that one guy that thought he was glass, literally actually thought he was glass and that he could potentially shatter. You're not going to shatter. And I feel like you've been taught to carry the burden of if something breaks or if something shatters, it's because it's your fault. You did something wrong and you should have known better and you should have navigated the situation more slickly or whatever. And it's like, you don't owe people that. I feel like people make you feel like you owe them that. And then you're wrongly mirrored back to yourself that when you're direct or when you're blunt or when you're just overt and like, here's what it is. And I'm not invested enough in you to sugarcoat this and have a 4-hour long conversation with you about this. Here's the truth of the matter. You're seen as being mean or being not sweet or something like that. And I feel like that's really the blockage. That's what is holding you back here in this situation. So I'm also feeling like you could be attracted to spheres or jobs or positions or people that actually do demonstrate this bluntness and they're respected for it, which probably is, men or like a more masculine, sphere. There's something that you really want to be a part of. And so it's like you covet that. And I'm also hearing like maybe you have learned to wield power by association through connection. So this probably started with your parent. You felt like if you acquiesced to them, then you couldn't display your power directly. You learned on a subconscious level that was considered wrong or bad. So instead, you wielded your power through, like, the parent held the power, and you did kind of know how to work your parent. I'm not saying that you had this negative intention or you were manipulative or something, but you knew what they wanted, you knew what they expected, you knew if you played the game right that they might let you go out with your friends on Friday to the skate rink and they might give you an extra $5 for a soda pop. Like, whatever it is, you learned to kind of wield power by association. And I feel like that's the blockage. It's not that you don't connect with power. You do. It's the way that you're channeling it. Because I feel like you're built and you're actually meant to, and this is a big part of your spiritual journey, is to actually channel that power directly through yourself, because I'm hearing you're the one who can be trusted with it. And you want it. There's this part of you that wants it, but then I feel like you're torn and you're saying like that you don't want to, you're torn about it. But you're torn because of something that was put there, and it wasn't put there by you. It was put there by like society or culture or your parents, or something like that. And I feel like you're just learning how to blossom and break out of that. But it does take work and it does take effort. And so I'm hearing don't blame. Like, I'm also hearing don't hate the player, hate the game. But this isn't coming through in a love situation for me, though. I feel like if you're fixating, okay, and I am hearing the word capitalism. Capitalism makes us compete more instead of cooperating more. And our ancestors, for the bulk of human history, were more cooperative. And so I feel like maybe you decided to incarnate during this time of capitalism because you did need to be confronted with this just like overwhelming culture of competition in order to kind of push you out of your shell. So it's kind of trying to bring out the best in you, is what I'm getting. And I think your soul does kind of understand that you need to be confronted with where you need to compete, because you just are not, I feel like your number one desire is like not to rock the boat, and I think that, because you're trying to maybe wield power by association, by proximity, that's the word that I keep trying to find, proximity to power, whether it's proximity to the throne, proximity to the boss, proximity to a partner that wields power, because you're doing that. I think that you're kind of telling yourself that you're not competing when in reality you are. And you can tell that because I think you feel threatened when other people kind of approach whatever that is. And I'm also hearing, because a part of that lecture that I was channeling earlier, this woman was saying that it's a fallacy to say that women don't compete, and she was talking about women competing specifically in relationships, and she said women compete to get into relationships, but they also compete to keep their partners. And so for some of you, it's like, again, you may be competing like in subtle ways. You're trying to position yourself like in a certain way, but it's preventing the real you from coming out, from actually flowing and like being creative, something here like that. And so I just feel like maybe you even have this, like, your stomach, I feel like this has like a visceral feeling for you, because it feels like you're a fish out of water, and it will at the beginning, but I think it feels like you're not doing what you should be doing, or you're not actually connecting with yourself. When in reality you are, it's just you're kind of undoing all those like social conditioning, kinds of things. And you actually have a strong wisdom that you can tap into and unlock when you actually go after what it is that you want. You will see things much clearer, because also what this is doing is it's preventing you from getting certain bits of data and information about your world, about yourself, about the people that you could potentially be dealing with. You don't understand things fully. You don't see people clearly or something because you haven't actually like gone on this yourself. So I feel like you're kind of flying blind in this aspect where people could maybe really catch you off guard. People who are more direct, people who are more competitive. I think it really catches you off guard because maybe this also seems kind of like a covert contract, because I think you also get yourself in situations where you're like, okay, I don't mean you any harm. I'm not going to compete with you. I'm going to put my hands behind my back. And you do that as a power move in order to be like, so you are going to put your hands behind your back, right? And then when somebody doesn't, because there's a lot of people who will, because a lot of us do just want to settle into like a cooperative kind of way of being. And it's like, if you show me that I'm good and I'm safe, then I'll show you that I'm good and I'm safe, that you're good and you're safe. A lot of people will make that trade with you, but sometimes people don't. And I feel like when people don't, you get like really hurt, or like, like you feel like, oh my gosh. And then it reinforces that idea of like, well, those kind of people, right? Those kind of people, they're mean and they're this and they're that. And those people may well be. It's a spectrum, right? Some people might and some people aren't, but I feel like you're not seeing the totality of the spectrum. And I feel like, again, that's why you're being encouraged to step into your power, because you're on the more positive side of the spectrum, because you don't want to be an egomaniac, because you don't want to be power hungry. But right now I feel like it's just kind of like, resting. Yeah, you could have gotten framed for something. I feel like you could have had an experience here in your past where you did display power. And for others of you, I feel like there's something about the way that you look, or your beauty, or how you present yourself, or how you articulate yourself that is equating to a type of power in people's minds. So you not competing, they still see you as the threat. Even if like, I'm not going after that position. But that doesn't matter to them, because your credentials and the way that you articulate yourself, you would be a shoo-in for that position, is like what a lot of people think. They still have identified you as like some kind of major threat for that position, so they're still going to come after you. So you're not really getting like whatever it is that you think that you want. And I do feel like you could have been framed for something, and you felt like, because like somebody was saying that you were doing this and that, but really you weren't trying to do this and that, and that person felt like they were in the right by like branding you this way or branding you that way. And I think it had to do with your something external about you, like your appearance, the family that you come from, the way, like just the mannerisms, the things that live and breathe in you, and you're like trying to say that your intention isn't one way. But I feel like a lot of these people are used to kind of getting on in the real world, and they're used to people kind of fighting dirty or something. So people, they don't know fully. But I feel like there's definitely a particular experience here in your past, and it caused you an immense amount of grief and sadness. And for a lot of you, I just feel like this could be recurrent, and you believed this about yourself for a long time, which is also why you may play small or only choose to wield power by proximity, because you don't want people thinking that you're a threat. So I just looked up and I saw Noor. She says, is it possible to not feel competitive, either in your masculine aspect or feminine one? I'm not entirely sure. Like, the way that I'm taking that question is like, the energies of competition, here's what I want to say about that. The energies of competition definitely get channeled differently through a masculine aspect and a feminine aspect. And I'm thinking specifically about Aries and Scorpio. Those are both like Mars dominant signs. They're Mars ruled, and Mars rules over our personal power and our personal will and the way that we assert ourselves in the world. And Aries is the more masculine aspect of that, and Aries is very direct, and it rules over the first house. And I do feel like you actually display this kind of masculine quality in your appearance, in your posture, in your mannerisms or something like that. You actually do display a type of power. Whereas the feminine displays of power is more scorpionic, because it needs to be a little bit more aware, a little bit more observant, a little bit more tucked away, a little bit more hidden, moving kind of like in the shadows. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It's because, when you think about females compared to males, especially on like a physical sense, like a lot of we can be physically weaker and smaller. So you would just be stupid to not factor that into the equation, that you're going to have to take that into account when you're navigating the environment. So depending on what kind of situation you're in, yes, like you may have a tendency towards that more feminine side. And this is, I feel like if you're asking about a particular arena in your life, or maybe this is overall, it is asking you to recognize your masculine element, or to go about something, because I feel like it can potentially call your character into doubt or into question when you're trying to hide away or tuck away, even though it feels strategic to you because you're scared or because you don't want to like kind of go after what it is that you want. I feel like these people who are more forceful can then kind of say that you're doing that for reasons that you may or may not be doing. Yeah, this is like more strategy, and maybe you're wanting some kind of redemption, and this feels like, again, people looking at you incorrectly and making comments on your character that are false or incorrect. And so you need to be more strategic, and do not go after somebody, because then you're the problem. And I'm hearing, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. And for some of you, these energies are reversed, and you're dealing with somebody like this, somebody that you've blamed, somebody that you are, because they display this kind of power, and you are competing with them, and maybe you compete with others, and you compete, especially with other females or something like this. You just assume that they're competing with you, and they're really not. They're just trying to live their life, or something like that. So take this however it resonates, and potentially you could get into situations, like with both sides of that equation. Yeah, I feel like there's been some kind of an unsuccessful plan here in a strategy, and yeah, it's reevaluate your strategy. That's what's coming through here. That's your big blockage. You have a lot of anxiety here about something. There's a lot of anxiety. Interesting. Okay, so there really is some kind of like family situation or joy, and that's coming through here. And I feel like you're healing after this situation. Like something, I just feel like you didn't get the respect that you deserved in this situation in the past. Or you felt like, if it's your ego that needs checked, it's like, it's very much that entitled, like, don't you know who I am? Like, why would you speak to me that way? Something like that. But because I feel like this is teaching you something. There's a teacher or a mentor, and somebody here was very brash and like ran in very impulsively and said something very impulsively, or did something very impulsively because they were trying to strategize for some kind of new beginning, and this didn't work out. Because there's some kind of group here. I don't know exactly what this is that I'm picking up on. Okay. Spirit, can you clarify this? So what is pile number 1's blockage? Wanting quick results. Okay, so this is confusing. This is like flopping back in my mind of like who is responsible for something. Yeah, you're ending a cycle. Okay, this is what this is about. You're ending a cycle. This is a huge kind of karmic cycle, and this is Venus in Virgo. So I'm getting that you could have been around women in particular who were very nitpicky and were maybe very brash with their words or something here like that, because whenever you were shining, and it was because that they were threatened by you. And so now I feel like the antidote to this, which I feel like a lot of you are actually on this path, is to develop your own skill set, to become financially independent, and then speak confidently from that place of a skill set that you've developed. Does that make sense? And that is how you complete this karmic cycle. So, okay, here's why. Okay, I get it, because I'm hearing it's not her fault. So they're trying to get you to have this higher perspective that this person is the Maya, like rising up to teach you. They are the obstacle that you kind of need to overcome in order to pass this test, where again, you need to speak clearly, confidently, and directly from a place of your skill set. Don't look at this person as they're a bully or they're a problem or they shouldn't be doing this or that. They absolutely should be doing this or that, because this is life, and this is the energy that you need to confront within yourself. And you need to understand for yourself once and for all that you're a match for this. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are not meek. You are not small in any way. They're wanting you to step out of this. Because I think, I'm here. Okay, so I'm hearing that, don't hate me. Don't hate me. I'm hearing you may have received attention in the past, aid and support from playing small or weak or wounded or hurt. And this is you wielding your power by proximity. We need to stop doing this, because in this situation, you are more than capable than advocating for yourself in a healthy, effective, strong manner. And that is what you are expected to do. So Spirit is coming in and saying, I don't know who you be out here crying to. Okay? I don't know who it is. I feel like you maybe want to go to somebody and boo-hoo-hoo and, this person should have been doing this. And Spirit is saying, my stance with you will not change. It is very clear. You need to pick yourself up. You need to dust yourself off. You need to understand that you're a bad bee. You need to understand that you are skillful, that you have the capacity to be independent. And to be financially independent, you have to know how to protect those assets, to protect like something here within you. You are capable of doing this. You know exactly what's going on, and you are capable of just making a firm, quick, decisive decision or saying something very directly. The truth of the matter, an elevated truth in the matter. It's not petty. It's not jealous. You're not taking jabs at anybody. That's what this other person's doing. Okay. And yes, they're wrong for that. They're wrong for that. They're taking some kind of petty, gross jabs because hurt people hurt people. And, it's not an excuse. I don't say that as like you should change your behavior in any way. But this person is I think this person's incredibly jealous of you. And they maybe have a very similar journey to yours, where they see you standing, or they're meant to be triggered, is what I'm hearing. They're meant to be triggered by you standing in your power. But I think you could be holding yourself back because you don't want to trigger people, because again, you've been told that triggering people is wrong. But just a basic tenet of psychology, sometimes that ego, because the ego deludes in order to protect, the ego needs to be challenged. And this is the spiritual journey. So if you have somebody and they're like, I pray 5 times a day, and that person is incapable of checking their own ego in their own time, it's not something that you need to be keyed in on, but the proof will be in the pudding with a person like that. When it's self-awareness, they don't have any like genuine self-awareness, which you might feel like you're dealing with a person like this who just lashed out at you, has no like sense of self-awareness or decorum or anything like that. And all of that may well be true, but they're not wrong for doing that. And I think it's just time for you to step up into yourself, know your own truth. This isn't a matter of like, because I feel like you more than have the lesson of like, I could just walk away. I feel like this person's in your space. This person is coming at you. This person's attacking you. And, trying to make it feel like, I don't know, like it's your fault or you're, something like that. And it's not. It's not. You're not wrong for being strong. Because I think, and this is also linking back to the victim, persecutor, rescuer mindset. And I feel like whoever this is, they have that very black and white worldview of, I'm victimized, you're persecuting me, help me, help me. That's where I was getting, is like, you had that attention of somebody coming to like rescue you. So you feel like if you can, I'm literally hearing, you feel like if you can manufacture a wounded bird kind of an energy, so you're in this like very bad rut or very bad cycle. If you can, even when you're not feeling all that wounded, I feel like it's almost just a knee-jerk reaction because you don't want to like stand up for yourself, or you don't want to make the decision, to leave or something here like that. So, okay, that's what I'm getting for pile number 1. And I feel like this could potentially have knocked your self-esteem, but I think what you don't quite realize is that this person's doing this because they're jealous of you and they see your strength where you may not see your strength. And I feel like that's that is where you genuinely have been hurt and held back, is because you don't understand that people come at you this way because they see your strength and because they're trying to kind of hold you back. So, I'll pull a couple more from my little tea time cards here. And then we'll move on to pile number 2. Yeah, work achievement and success. Okay. I'm just going to go through these comments here because I'm seeing some things that are, I just want to make sure the context is okay. Okay. Yeah. How do we figure out what our strength is? I mean, this is just the path of self-awareness, right? And I'm called to tell you, Brianna, and your question, how do we find out what our strength is lead with love. What is it that you love? Because even if you don't feel strong, that you actually have a propensity to develop that, and that like love that you have for somebody or something, doing something, is actually going to carry you through like the trialing times. Love, affection, and deep caring, literally what I was just saying. Okay. Okay, I don't know what's going on, Rob. You're kind of making me very uncomfortable with your comments. I'm not entirely sure what you're getting on about, but it's really distracting me, and it's kind of not on point with the conversation. So I'm just gonna warn you, babe. Can you just kind of keep an eye on that? Okay. I'm so sorry. That just like completely. Oh, I think I just maybe did it because it makes me feel uncomfortable to like have to kind of call certain things out. But I'm here doing my skill set, and then I had to like say something. I had to say something like very direct and specific. Um, so okay. I feel like I just demonstrated that, and I felt. Do you see how awkward and uncomfortable and unwilling I was to do that? But still, we are here, and we're moving on. So, okay, that was pound number one. That with a live demonstration. I'm just gonna take a sip of my coffee. Okay. Yay, you did it! Thank you guys for being here with me while I did that. He wasn't here for you, Jess. Oh, was he? I wondered. It looked like you guys were going back and forth a little bit, Catherine. And you said you already blocked him. Okay, so that was just a weird group experience we had. Okay. Like, the things he was saying, I was like, I don't know if he's, like, processing something or... Okay, anyways, moving on. It's file number 2. I'm just hearing, so we're moving on up. Okay, I feel like you are moving up. You are making, like, some kind of progress in life. This feels like really happy energy for you. I feel like a lot of you are looked upon with really, really high esteem. Here, I feel like your energy is the mentor. Like, you see things. You see very clearly. You see above the crowd, above the clouds, and you're very determined and... okay, so there's something here about the wingspan as well. Like, my husband just adds so many good things to my life. He was telling me about owl's wings the other day. You guys are probably like, what do you guys talk about? Everything, anything and everything. So he was telling me about owl's wings and how like the feathers on an owl, the wind direction can blow like different ways on the wings of an owl. And so Catherine, thank you so much for the $50. She's like, we just went through a harrowing experience together. Okay. Where like the wind can blow different ways on your feathers. So, okay. And I'm trying to figure out how this is a blockage. Because I actually feel like for the most part, it's like you have such high vision and you kind of operate above the clouds where there's not as much debris, there's not as much competition, there's not as much in the way. I'm not really seeing how this is a blockage, to be honest. But let me just try to dip in a little bit more to this energy. Get this astrological deck. All right, number 2. Yeah, I think Rob got put in timeout. Okay, so all right. Okay, I literally just heard Rob Zombie. And I know Rob Zombie is somebody famous, but I can't for the life of me think about who he is. But the zombie thing is like really oh my gosh. Okay, I wonder if this is tying into pile number 2. The zombie metaphor is really like standing out to me of like the undead, like somebody coming up from your past or something like that. Maybe, hold on, let me just pull some cards here. I feel like there could be somebody jealous from your past that like you don't want to have a relationship with because you saw their bullshit from like a mile away. But this person feels like there's unfinished business with you. And in some way, shape, or form, they could be trying to impede your progress or something like that. Okay. The blockage for pile number 2. What's blocking pile number 2? What's holding them back? Sagittarius. Okay. And Scorpio. Okay, hold on. So I feel like you are... There's somebody from your past here, okay? And it feels like maybe a teacher or somebody that you did hold in high esteem. And you are becoming independent from this. You need to become independent of them, of their teachings, of their energy. I feel like you know this. And you're like kind of flying high. And I feel like you're well on your way to like being your own mentor. But I'm hearing like the phrase, the teacher and the student are one and the same. You know? So... yeah, there's something here about the past because I feel like you moved on, and then this is what is going to this leveled you up in some way, moving away from this person in your past who is frankly like very manipulative. They were part of your daily routine or like a part of like your routine, and this person was very sly and very cunning and just like honestly really gross and very much watched you and like fixated upon you. And they maybe tried to position themselves as a mentor in your life, but they were really degrading. I feel like you were somebody who was working really hard and below the scenes, like behind the scenes, and you really have this like internal engine that is very powerful, and it makes you actually the power or the mentor in any situation. And I do feel like you could kind of see this person, you know, for what they are. And now you have like bossed up in some way and you are displaying your power, but this person can't let it go. That's what the blockage is. So I don't know exactly what it is for you to do about this blockage. This is hold on here. Deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So I feel like you have this deep... I'm getting a lot of positive things about you. I'm trying to figure out what this blockage is. Oh, I'm hearing they have the blockage. They can't get over you. You're not blocked, I don't think, in this situation. New creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. So you have a fresh start. But what's the blockage here, Spirit? Great personal sorrow. Okay. So you have great personal sorrow over this. Okay. Okay, I feel like you're worried. Hold on. Taking a vacation physically or mentally, happiness and well-being. Fortune. Beware of greed. I feel like you worry that this is somehow in your energy field or going to be a blockage or holding you back, even because you have great personal sorrow. I'm hearing you're on your journey, you're on your path. Like you see things very clearly here and you're grieving this. But this is not going to impede your progress. Yeah. And I do feel like you're well on your way. And we're all, in my opinion, we're all teachers and we're all students of each other. And I feel like you're called to kind of like lead, you know, in your own way. And I'm picturing the mentor card in reverse in my other archetypes deck, where this person was trying to hold you back. They didn't want you to see yourself as strong, as capable, as a teacher yourself. They always wanted you to be subservient to them, this other person. And they are really, they just think that they're larger than life. They could, like, I don't know, do a lot of traveling or something like that. Yeah, oh my gosh. Money path. The path with money is waiting for you to find it. So this person's trying to be an obstacle in your path. And I feel like this may also relate to connecting with your own power, because you're above this. I feel like you've always been above this, to be honest. Like, even if you went through a bout of low self-esteem or something like that, you've always been above this. But this is look, with this rooster card, this is an arrogant, boastful person that you should not cross. And then with the lion, it says time to act. But you are this lion. I feel like you're the lion and they're the rooster. Look how angry this rooster looks. Oh my gosh. So they're this rooster but there's nothing this rooster can do to this lion. Like, it's laughable. It's actually, there's absolutely nothing that they can do. And, but the lion, this is reminding me of the strength card in the tarot. And, you know, we have just come through the Lionsgate portal and everything, but I feel like you have connected your internal strength. And I feel like you demonstrate your strength by not being sucked into this because you can see it a mile away. But hold on here. So your blockage, okay, I understand this. Your blockage is thinking that you have a blockage or that you need to worry about somebody who is small and insignificant. And if you wanted to, you could eat them in one bite. This person is not a threat to you. So I feel like, okay, I feel like you're so used to you came up from the bottom. I feel like you definitely did. You had to connect from your strength, like from the bottom or something like that. And so you're so used to being in this one mindset where it's like you've had to like not like note the threats around you. And you're just not used to being a big dog now. You're a big dog now, and especially in your energy. And I think for some of you, this is starting to reflect on the material. Like you've had an extreme reversal in fortune. Maybe you did have to cut complete ties with somebody, scrap something, and just move on. But you are very wise. You're above this. So your blockage is thinking that you have a blockage or that people can interrupt your progress. They can't. They really can't. You are independent. These people tried to get you to be like deluded about them and about their energy and about how strong they were and maybe even about how respectable they were, and that they wanted you to think that they were elevated when really they had a hidden agenda this entire time. Like this person, had some kind of a hidden agenda for power, for money, I just heard corruption. Like this person is just like kind of a corrupted soul. And you are, I'm hearing shine bright like a diamond. You are shining bright like a diamond. And you are moving on from this. And this cusp right here from Scorpio to Sagittarius, this is notoriously the most difficult cusp in the zodiac, and you have traversed it. So even though it feels like maybe it was just a hop, skip, and a jump ago that you were with this person or in their remit or something like that, the distance between the two of you really cannot be measured. It's a lot farther than it looks in your rearview mirror, because energetically you had to traverse quite a distance in order to even take this leap. It really is like if you came across this big cavern. It's not the same thing as walking the 10 feet. It's very different than that, because you have to have tools. You have to have courage. You have to have, there's so many different things. So this person is standing across the ravine yelling at you, trying to get your attention, trying to ruffle your feathers because they have feathers. And I feel like this person's feathers are ruffled by you and by your newfound strength, but this person is not an obstacle. I'm hearing the proverb, do not trip over a stone that is not in your way. So this stone is not in your way. Financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. I feel like you have good karmas that are finally now able to come in for you. This person was a blockage in your past. Okay, that's what you need to understand. And I do feel like they kind of, thank you, Alanya, for the 1999. This person tried to, I'm hearing hide it under a bushel. No, I'm going to let it shine. So I feel like this person was kind of blocking your good karmas. They were blocking your blessings in the past, not because they had any power to do so, but because you kind of believed them. You believed the way that they were talking to you or treating you. And so because of that, you weren't vibrating in alignment with the karmas that you had earned. You have earned very good karmas, and I feel like it is about to show. Like this is really good energy. So December, I feel like December could potentially be a really good month for you. Bird flying, there's a lot of this bird flying energy, and I feel like Spirit wants you to connect with that archetype. If you hear owls, I feel like that's significant for you. News is on the way, so you have some kind of news that's coming in, and maybe it's about a temporary problem. So this person at best, I feel like, could cause a temporary problem, but it's not real. It's not that it's not real. It's just not something you need to worry about. Danger, especially in money matters. Hidden secrets can harm you. Situation in the balance that requires careful handling. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. So you may well find out that this person is having money difficulties and that's why they've been so hateful to you. But I do just want to say, watch your money. I feel like you should watch your money. Watch your spending. Temptation will test you in your money matters. Just kind of be above things. Keep your eyes open. What do you want to say about that? News is on the way. The ending of a situation. Yeah. So if you're married to for a lot of you, I feel like you could be married to this person or something like that, and it's leaving your life, and they could try to cause you problems financially, but I don't think that you need to. If they do, it'll be temporary. And it's not something that you should trip over, because I feel like you have the ability to make this money back or better or stronger, or it's not permanent, whatever it is. So, okay. Yeah, this person could potentially be gossiping or like falsifying information. So I just want to remind you, this person's not an obstacle. They're not really an obstacle. What is it? Show me this person. Show me this person that we're talking about. This obstacle, quote unquote. Could be a mother or a mother figure. Yeah, they're really sneaky with their words. They want to seem like they're nurturing or that they're caring or that they're elevated, and they're just not. Posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. Okay, hold on. Somebody is trying to mess with the energy in this reading. Like, but it's just an annoyance. Like, I feel like they try to make you feel like you are the wrong one, you know? And you're just not. I do feel like there's magic here. I do feel like somebody is trying to mess with the energy that's coming through. Somebody's really trying to hold on to some money. I feel weird. I feel weird and different in this reading than I normally do. It's not a good weird. What is the blockage here? Okay, I feel like the blockage is like you feel like you're under attack, and then you can't feel like what it is. I feel like you've been messed with. Like, oh, this feels like over the course of a long time, and so you're just used to people coming for you. And I feel like you just feel insecure. It's just money. Spirit, what's going on here in pile number 2? Spirit. What is going on here in this pile? Messages for the highest vibrational good of all beings. I just feel like you need to protect your energy. Because, the biggest threat is you believing that you're wrong or the problem or that you are insecure or unsafe. I feel like this is definitely a karmic cycle that has ended, and this is some kind of poisonous energy from your past. They feel like they're unfairly treated by you, but in reality, this person treats you unfairly. They are deeply insecure, and this person tries to like throw darts. This person tries to throw hands because they are... they're trying to steal from you. This person may well be trying to steal money from you, and they have some kind of a plan about it. They feel like you're blocked off, and they want you to be confused. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to doubt your intuition here in this space. So that's what Spirit is saying. Spirit is reminding you in this reading that you see with a clear vision, that you are elevated. You need to trust that part of yourself and be kind of elevated. This person watches you, I feel like, from afar, and they watch you trying to build for yourself, trying to get into healthier habits and routines, trying to build up your money. They also watch you minding your own business. And they feel like they're losing control of you is what I'm hearing. And they are. And if you just keep on that track of really not concerning yourself with them, there's nothing they can do about it. But all this person can really do is I feel like they're trying to whip up a bunch of energy like around you. So you probably feel this like really turbulent energy around you just at all times. And you don't know where it is that it comes from. And I feel like it's because this person understands that you're an empath and that you are sensitive to energy. And I do feel like this person has some kind of like, they do tap into energy, whether they know it or not. Because for some of these people, I feel like their emotions and their energy is just so turbulent and they are so fixated on you and it's directed at you that it feels turbulent around you. But you need to separate out your energy from them. them. Okay, so you're too psychically tapped in to this enemy space because it's something you feel like you have to watch. And this ties back into what we were saying at the beginning of this reading, where I feel like, you know, maybe for a lot of you, I feel like for a lot of you, this could be your mother, because I'm kind of getting a mommy dearest vibe where it's like you just were so used to kind of dealing with that. And maybe you've recreated these kind of connections where you feel inherently unsafe, or like you're going to be treated unreasonably, and that it doesn't matter who's right or true or whatever. And that could tie into the message in pile number 1, where maybe you were always trying to placate this person. This could be a person that you were trying to placate, you know, in order to wield that power by proximity. And you know, this person is maybe, well, you didn't at first, but I feel like you potentially feel like this person's an egomaniac. And so they have no problem dealing with power. They're greedy for power is what I'm hearing. They want more and more and more, and nothing's ever enough for them. And they feel righteous. This person feels righteous in disturbing your energy because they feel like all the power in the room should belong to them. They don't want to see anybody else having any power. And so you just stepping into your own personal power feels like a slight to them. Feels like an insult to their energy. You having any sense of like autonomy or money or moving on or making progress, this person feels like that's a personal injustice to them. So that's insane, right? And it's egotistical. And you are not the problem here in this situation. But because I feel like this does tie into pile number 1, because you're used to wielding that power by proximity, and you're used to being able to, in your way, and I feel like you're very good-hearted with this, but like in your own way, you're used to being able to kind of manage other people's emotions and feeling like that was your responsibility, because you feel like, well, that's our power. And if I don't want that power, you know, directed at me, then I need to kind of like play the game. But you don't. You need to start detangling your energy from this person. So I feel like you've already started this process. So it's not an obstacle. Don't get sucked back into it, is what I'm hearing. Like, I feel like you made progress, you broke free, you got away. And then maybe because this person's energy was creeping up on you, kind of like got sucked into like that old energy. Not even like through any, any like fault of your own. I'm seeing you kind of swimming in the ocean, and you're like, you broke free and you're like happy, but then like something like big and like a shark, you know, is like kind of coming up behind you and like looking at you, but they can't touch you, they can't hurt you, but they're interested, they're curious. It's this, where are you going? You know, like, what do you think you're doing? Kind of like really spiteful, hateful energy. But just because this person has this, I think you feel scared that somebody's fixated on you in a negative way. That's really all it is. And you're not really used to wielding your own power yet. That's what it really is. And so I think maybe you're afraid even of like the challenge, or potentially having to respond to a challenge, you know? And because I think another part of you is like, the moment that this person says that you're mean, or that you're this or you're that, you maybe in the past you would have caved, but you're a different person now, and you do not have to engage. I'm hearing do not engage. It's the obstacle would be thinking that you need to engage with this person, thinking that you need anything from this person. You don't need their permission. You don't need them to stop fixating on you negatively. I feel like you would prefer they did not do that, but it's not an obstacle. It's not. I think that you just think this person is unstable. They're an egomaniac. They are unpredictable. They have no morality to them. I'm really getting that. I feel like this person's loopy. I feel like this person's crazy. And you know that. So you know that they're unpredictable, and that they are for sure not going to try to behave in an above board manner. They're just going to try to scheme and get away with things, make you feel responsible. They're going to try to dabble and interfere in whatever way they can, but you see this, and you're too strong, and you're no longer playing this game because you have changed and you have evolved. And spirit is I'm just hearing spirit like a drum beat. You have changed, you have evolved. This person cannot touch you. They cannot harm you, right? Like, just keep going, keep moving. And the owl is such a beautiful totem for you. I feel like this is a spirit guide for you right now. The owl is coming in. I'm hearing snow owl for some reason. But this owl is coming in as a guide and as a protector to you, because owls, you should maybe watch a documentary about owls. They're so cool. They're so adaptive. And I'm hearing slow but steady. Do you know that owl it's the slowest bird. They have the slowest wing speed. They are very slow, but they can survive anything. And I feel like this is what it is. You've underestimated your strength and your power. And what's ironic is I feel like the energies here are actually flipped. You are actually the one with an internal sense of personal power. That's what it is. This person they don't have an internal sense of personal power, or maybe even like an internal sense of self. So really they try to hoard other like money, wealth, assets, position. And I'm hearing that Taylor Swift song where she's like, you have to see everybody you burn just to get there. Like, this person plays low because they have no sense of inner sanctity. You do. And so the only way they can amass power in the external world is by taking people who actually genuinely have a sense of self and a sense of personal power and like hoarding it under themselves. So in reality, you were always the power in this situation. You've just woken up and you're not under this person's spell anymore. You see them exactly for who they are. And that is the power move in the situation. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to say anything specific. Now, as you're moving away, it's like, I feel like they're just like, if this is a divorce, obviously you need to contact a divorce attorney and you need to, file the papers. Like, I'm not talking about those mundane things that are obvious and they're like kind of unfolding. Like, I need to do this. Okay, now I need to do that. But in terms of like taking this person's energy on, it's no competition. You're not in a fight with this person. They need to deal with themselves. I actually feel like this person is being isolated because they need to sense their own powerlessness. In some way, shape, or form, this person needs to, because they are powerless, but they've been trying to ignore that by amassing things, and that's no longer the case. This person's super angry. They want to stagnate your progress. They want to judge you. They maybe even want to have other people judge you or like call you out. They want this person, their energy is so bad. Their energy is so negative, nasty, bad. And they want to betray you. They want to betray you, and they want to be sneaky about it, and they want to win. There's something here, and I feel like you're not even playing a game. Here's the thing. All you want is your own autonomy, your own sense of independence. I don't think you're competing with them. And Spirit has your back on this 100% because you are considered the prize. Like, you are the trophy. Whoever wins you. Well, your soul is not for sale. Your soul is yours. So this person is going to be stopped in their tracks because you stand like with Spirit. It's this person's wish fulfillment to see you burdened. So all of this energy is so intense and it's so hateful that you just, I feel like, cower in the past. I feel like you cowered in the face of it. And you took a subservient position. And this person wanted you to rely on them for something. They wanted you to bow the knee. And maybe they used money or position or status to do this. And there was a lot going on behind the scenes here. And this person is a betrayer by their nature. But you've ended this cycle. And you are moving on to bigger and better things. You have a lot of happy, prosperous relationships ahead of you. I feel like you have a strong soulmate coming in. You have like family, teamwork, building something. Your future looks bright, and this person can sense it. And they are nostalgic for the past when you were below them. Because I feel like when you were below them, they could put on a face of grace. They could put on this face of, everything is fine between us, whatever. They got to pretend that they were the good person. But now I feel like I'm hearing all my scars are open. So this person's actually hurting, and their scars are open because I feel like this person has like an abandonment wound, but it's one that they cause because they are hateful. And they really, at the end of the day, cause their own abandonment. And this is some people who are traumatized. I'm thinking of that CPTSD book, the famous one, where he details the different types of like trauma victims. And unfortunately, some people who are traumatized, they become like the bully. So they have this abandonment wound that they keep re-triggering because they are just intolerable. They just make it impossible for other people to be around them. And they take no responsibility for it because of their trauma. They feel absolutely justified in making it difficult for other people and making things like other people's problems. But this is still, this person needs to kind of like clean this up for themselves. And the biggest thing for you, and I feel like, is that they can no longer pretend. They can no longer, I just heard their position is not respected anymore. Nobody buys it. Like, it's obvious that this person is in the wrong now because you broke away. Because you're not playing along. They no longer get to pretend like they are gracious or that they are this way or that they are that way. It's obvious that they're not. This person's deluded. Flat out, they're deluded. Also, this person, they have this like magician capability, okay? They do. They do have it. But because they're so muddled and confused and their emotions are all in a whirlwind space, they are manifesting crap. This person is manifesting, and because they're misusing it, actually the energy is turning on them. And I feel like people think this person's like nutty. Like they say weird stuff, and yeah, I'm hearing con artists. Like, this person tries to present like they have a sense of confidence, but they're really confused and deluded. And I'm hearing egomaniac because that's what ego defense mechanisms do, is it deludes people. And all of us do this. You don't have to be an egomaniac. You still have an ego, right? But that's why it's important to kind of I feel like they think, despite all of this, I feel like this person thinks that you're their soulmate. This is crazy. I feel like this person thinks that you are their soulmate. And because they see you as wise, they see you as like having moved away from them and like living your best life and having fun. And this person feels that whenever they are around you, they have an immense amount of love. They love your compassionate heart. But I mean, this person is like in the grips of some really difficult things. Really, they need to see the truth. They need to have like some kind of new perspective. I feel like this person acts like they are sane and holier than thou and above reproach. And really, they're just deluded. Spirit keeps saying, like, this is a fantasy. This could also, Noir said this could be the person from pile number 1 too. And okay, yes, because these two messages fit in so perfectly with one another, where even though this person is clearly in the wrong, Spirit is saying they're kind of doing exactly what they need to do. Don't trip over the stone that's not in your way. This stone, I feel like you've tripped over. I feel like in this life probably, but like in past lives. And you're just outgrowing this. You're ending the cycle here with this person. So look at that. Look at that and be grateful. You have the ability. I'm hearing like, this is a matter of perspective. This is just you flipping it. And the way that you're looking at it is like, I'm bigger than that now. I overcame that. I'm seeing you walk past this person and like, you were really teeny tiny. Some of you literally could have been a child, like around this person, but you're really teeny tiny in some way. And as you are walking, you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this person is just back here still yelling like into the nothingness. So the lesson here is do not trip over a stone that is not in your way. This person's not an obstacle for you anymore. They were in the past. They would really like to be in the future. They want you to stumble over their energy. This person wishes that you were stuck on them. And you're just not. You're just moving along. I know what the Nigerians do. Some things are just a no. Hides behind their religion to paint a pretty picture. That's exactly the energy I'm getting. But the funny thing is, you are genuinely a pure person and a compassionate person. And just like in pile number 1, I feel like you would have to boss up, stand strong in your skill set, and tell this person that may be the way that you unlock this. And again, you would not come from a place of malice. You would not be taking any low blows. You would not be trying to control the situation or anything. You would just very squarely and matter-of-factly be saying something. And then this person wants to paint themselves as the victim and be like, oh my gosh, did you see how forceful this person was with me? And it's like the very fact that more people are not this way with you, and that it took this person 17 years to finally say that to you with that tone in the way that it needed to be said, because that's the truth of it. That's how this person needs to be spoken to. They need to be very forcefully, and I don't mean physically forcefully, I mean very directly and matter-of-factly. We are not soulmates. I do not want to be with you. I find you a nuisance, very matter-of-factly. This person like wants to position themselves as the victim. So in a sense, you can see how they could potentially be drawn to pile number 1 too, but then my message would have something different for them. Like, you are genuinely not the problem. They need to uncouple their energy from yours. Soon to be ex-husband. Yeah, I'm like really getting this, like this, especially the financial thing. Like maybe you are afraid. I'm getting for some of you, you could be afraid that this person could harm you financially. And if they can, they will. But that lose the battle, but win the war. Like, get away from this person. They want you to think that you need them and you don't. They want you to worry about the $50 now so that you don't get away from them, earn your peace of mind and the $500 later. It's something like exponential. And this person has brought bad luck into your life. If you have been a couple, said marriage vows, bound yourself in a contract with this person, it's changed your karma when you were with them. And you probably wondered why the world was against you or the universe was against you. It's not. But your karma is now tied with someone else who has a very low vibration and a very negative karma. So again, they can't receive the same blessings that you can receive. So your blessings, even though you've earned them, now is just not the time for them to come to fruition. As soon as you start moving away from this person, you're going to start feeling freer, having more peace. Your energy will vibrate higher, and you will begin to promote and expand your own energy. And that's when your blessings are going to come to you. So this person just doesn't want you to see that. So I feel like that's really what I have for you guys here. Let me just get some advice. Like besides like just keeping on going, like is there any advice that you want to give here to pile number 2? Keep quiet. I just heard keep calm and carry on. You are a person of high moral standing. Okay? Keep your secrets. Keep your mouth closed. Do not engage with this person. If you are getting divorced, it's like you can speak to my attorney. There's also apps that you can go through where everything is like monitored. But just mum is the word. Don't have any interactions with this person that you don't need to. This person is bad news. This person's going to be railing. They're going to be judging you. This person is freaking out. Like in the Wicked Witch of the West, like, I'm melting. Oh, what a world. And like literally all Dorothy did was pour a little water on her. It's like, that's this person's energy and they want to charge forward. But this is you, the Temperance card. Find your balance and use this experience to grow spiritually. And I always think of this too. It's like whenever I'm faced with anything, I try not to look at it as an individual or like a single entity, especially when it's something that's railing against me. I deal with my reality as it needs to be dealt with. I take the steps. I recognize a threat where there is a threat. But there's this other part of me, the spiritual part of me, that I just call it Maya, because Maya is the teacher here and it takes many forms. So I say, thank you, Maya. You are the teacher rising up to give me this experience. And this experience for you is how to find your peace, how to find your balance in the storm, how to recover, how to pick up and be independent and move on. Move on slowly and steadily. Keep moving on. And I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of abundance that is coming in on your side. And if you want to wound this person, first of all, heal that within yourself. Because I feel like I think for this pile, you just want to get away from this person. And that's the heartbreak. That's the heartbreak, is you being done with them. Clearly and matter-of-factly. Like, absolutely not. You being like, absolutely not. The very fact that I thought I needed to put up with this for any length of time saddens me for myself, and I will not be going back. You need to be moving forward and stand in the truth of that, because that is the truth of that. And Spirit will back you up on that, because Spirit's trying to let this person know that they're full of it and that they've reached the end of the line. I feel like you were kind of the last person, because of your kind heart and your compassionate energy. You're the last person that this person can kind of do dirty like this. This person's going to have financial difficulties in the future. It might have to do with health issues as well that they are going to need to heal. And I feel like they're going to be seeing you move on. They're going to be saying all kind of nasty things about you, but it's not your problem. So that's pile number 2. And I just want to keep reiterating this to you. You do not have an obstacle in your way, pile number 2. You looking at this energy, because I can see how this would be just intimidating, to have all of this kind of coming at you, because you're such a peaceful, placid person and all you want is for things to be placid. But just make sure that you don't fall into that devil energy, because this is a sneaky way you can fall into devil energy, right? Because the devil energy is trying to take the shortcut, the short-term solution at the expense of the long-term. Giving into this person and giving them what they want when they're throwing their fit, that's you falling into devil energy, because all you want is peace. So you're willing to take the shortcut to get there. You allow yourself to be blackmailed or extorted or be made small. You've been playing their game because you kind of tell yourself, like, if I give them what they want, then they'll leave me alone. But they never do, because you're training them that you're a pushover, or that they can, if they act up, then you'll give them what they want. You know what I mean? And so this is just a matter of you taking the long-term approach of, I am ridding myself of this demon once and for all. And they are a person, but I mean, they're in some bad energy, this person. Okay. But it is not a threat to you. And I'm hearing you're supposed to stop speaking about it and relating to it like it's a threat. See it for what it is, but just know that it can't touch you. You would be giving it power, Not every situation is like that, but this person, even though they're nasty, they might be able to land some jabs. It's not really going to hurt you, not in the long run. That's Archangel Michael with the sirens, if you guys can hear that. So I feel like you have spiritual support. You have spiritual backing here. Trust that. Trust the current, that this person can't touch you. Okay. Okay, I'm so glad, because you know what? And I feel like this is another thing that I want to say before we move on to pile 3. This whole experience, from like when Rob showed up on the scene, it scrambled my brain and I felt knocked off my game. And then I was really unsure of myself, like in pile number 2. And I'm not usually unsure about what the message says, like at all. And I felt like there was an energy that was kind of trying to get in and kind of trying to corrupt the message and make it like almost make me weirdly want to incriminate myself for something that I didn't do. Like that was the feeling of it, or to make me look stupid, or like I didn't know what I was doing. Like there was something here like that, and that's how it started off. And you saw that, right? Like you saw it start off kind of like rickety, and like where I was like, this feels so strange, right? But then towards the end, it's like it took a while to figure out what exactly was going on. But once we knew what was going on, we knew it strong, and then we pushed right through it. So I feel like that's you here as well. His energy was off the moment I saw him. I just heard, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. Yes. Okay. 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 I do feel better. Not so hard. We're good students. You're a good teacher and a good student. And you guys are teaching me. And Rob, bless him on his journey. He's a good teacher as well, even though it was very unpleasant. Um, okay. So, moving on to pile number 3. But I'm going to Rob wasn't here for you. But Catherine, he was here for me. He could have been here for you. But sweetie, he was here for me too. He was here for all of us. A lot of people even mentioned that they felt a type of way. We're all relating to everything, even though it's hitting people different. That was definitely an energy that was like a common energy, and it brought things out for all of us. I was definitely being tested through that in my own way. So, okay. Maybe that's another thing, is that this person's a problem for more than one person. They're trying to take it out on like other people. All right. So, true student who sees the message in the chaos. That's why I call myself the chaos witch. And you know what? Chaos is the feminine energy. And I know a lot of us, like, we are feminines. Like, whether or not you're, like, identify as female, I feel like we're feminines. Like, a lot of the people that are on my channel. And, you know, it's like logic and or order and chaos. And I feel like a lot of the feminine journey is having to kind of be thrown into chaos or see your way through chaos. A serial problemer. All right, so pile number 3. This is a big energy, I can already tell. But it's happy, it's transformation, and it's metamorphosis. But the obstacle, I'm hearing the obstacle is the way. For this pile, the obstacle is the way. What presents like an obstacle, what you're trying to potentially avoid, there's something paradoxical about it, where if you do go towards it I'm watching like an archer hit a target, or like one of those jousters that put the jousting stick like through the ring, you know, so it's like hitting the nail on the head here. Like if you do that, then actually this is going to trigger some kind of a transformation. But the obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the teacher, funny enough, because this is the apocalypse card. And apocalypse is a revealing and an unveiling and an uncovering. So I feel like by going towards an ending, it changes the vibration and the dynamics of whatever situation you think you found yourself in. It's going to give you a different perspective, and certain things are going to come to light and come to the surface that you didn't realize before. It's going to be like an unearthing, an unveiling, an uncovering about the situation. So you're going to see this other person very clearly, the situation very clearly. I feel like there's somebody here who's trying to keep things hidden from you, because they feel like if you knew certain things that you would have an ending with them. But once you see that, things are going to forever change in some way, shape, or form. And it could be that a relationship comes to an end. It could be that it just changes, but it changes for the better. But I feel like there's fear. Fear is kind of the obstacle here. And so the things that you can't see, hidden secrets can harm you, is what I'm getting. So it's like you need to take some kind of action in this pile, some kind of decisive action, in order to, because things need to be revealed in order. There's a stagnancy here that I'm not really comfortable with, because it feels like a toxic stagnancy. It's not for the highest and greatest good of everybody involved. It's really somebody trying to hide something that's toxic, or something that really does need to be called up, looked at, and changed, and actually dealt with. And whether this is you, like within yourself, I feel like there's another person that is involved here, but the obstacle is the way in this pile. But you're feeling those kind of like trepidatious feelings, or you're telling yourself that it's not going to be positive. But I actually feel like this is going to be like just a really positive, you know, kind of a change, like whenever it is that you embrace it, because there's something here about lacking self-trust and lacking self-confidence here in the situation. So let's see. Oh, a war. I think you might feel like you're in for a fight or an argument, or that something may cause a fight or an argument, or like some kind of competition. But I feel like you need this fight, whatever it is. You need to have this like surface. You need to express whatever this is. You need to, something here, and it's going to kind of, and you need to disagree. I feel like you need to disagree with something here. Thank you so much, Brody, for the $10. Snow Owl, Harry Potter. Interesting. He's very secretive. Okay. All right. So pile number 3. Obstacles. Ganesha is obstacles and sacrifice. Okay, like I'm just feeling, again, I'm getting this, that the obstacle is the way. Okay, so Ganesha, I say this all the time with this card because Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. That's why people pray to Ganesha. But to pray only to remove obstacles is to not see through the lens of wisdom. So Ganesha also puts obstacles in the way because it is strong and wise and it's directing you down some kind of a different path. So at first you could have railed like against this, but this is something here that is needed in this situation. I kind of feel like I don't know what else to say with this pile. It's like the obstacle is the way. This is supposed to trigger some kind of like metamorphosis, some kind of inner transformation. And it might even like come up through chaos. I just saw the chaos card. Man, the 5 minutes behind. I am like, this whole reading, my energy is just really felt off and like kind of just choppy. This is meant to lead you to some kind of a new beginning. But at first the beginning is going to look like chaos. The obstacle is a gateway. That's like literally what it is. It's a gateway to receiving some kind of guidance, and you need to remain dedicated. Okay, and then I'm hearing cycles. What is going on with my energy? Thank you, Heather. I'm just really getting that the obstacle is the way. Okay. I feel like this is wanting to connect back to the other 2 piles as well, because I'm just getting like these energies that are kind of wanting to seep back through, but it's like we've already talked about these things. Relax into it. I think like with this one, it's like maybe just the fact that there is nothing more to really say here. Okay, I'm debating whether or not I'm going to say something here out loud for chaos. Artist and the bully. So this is about trusting your intuition, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And then there's like being confronted here with like a bully energy who has a delusional rapport with the divine. Resorting to violence in the name of the cause. More about this person. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more about Spirit. What's going on here in pile number 3? Somebody's watching you. Somebody with malintent. Okay. Alex, can you do me a favor? Mm-hmm. See Astral Chemist? Mm-hmm. Can you block her? I'm just gonna tell you this. I did block Astral Chemist from my Patreon. It was that's what's throwing me off, is like seeing her name kind of come up here, being so forward and like talking about that. And it was like a long decision and I felt really uncomfortable with her energy for a long time. And this is kind of tying back into the themes of this. And it's so weird that this is all happening now. And it's really thrown me off. And I felt just like really like sucked back in. But my whole thing is that I don't have to be perfect. Okay. And with her, I wouldn't even say that she necessarily did anything wrong, but it's just this feeling that I had that I couldn't really quite ignore. And I don't remember when I did it, but it was like there had been a couple of people that I really didn't like the way that their energy was. And my big lesson in that is that she might not feel like it's fair because it's not what she wanted. But the thing is that this is my job and this is my space, and I interact with a lot of different people. And if I just don't like the way that I'm being treated, it's okay for me to just make the decision. And I'm like up here paralyzed with fear, and you guys are like, relax into it, and you don't even know that there's like something else kind of going on here behind the scenes. So with this apocalypse energy, remember I said something would be uncovered, something would be revealed. And so I did have to make that decision, and it wasn't to slight her or anybody else. It was more to protect myself and to look out for myself and for my energy, because what I do is very energetically sensitive. And I have felt like certain energies that I just don't really jive with. Like, that's kind of the thing too. It's like, it's not necessarily that somebody is bad or wrong or evil or, anything like that. It's just, there's certain energies that I don't jive with. And I have had that experience here as a tarot reader where it's like, I've gotten into personal readings with people and I'm like, I really don't like vibe with this energy, or this makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm surprised that you're drawn into my energy for whatever reason. And I felt like I have just had to say like certain things. And I'm scared of being direct. And I've had certain experiences, again, where it's like, I just have never wanted to be direct. And I've just felt like I can kind of make the decisions that I need to kind of like move on. And even like doing that, it's like very brazen for someone like that to just, again, show up on my live feed, because this is my space. This isn't her space. She can go on and live her life, there's plenty of spaces for people. And I don't see myself as having like some kind of protected vice grip on a resource. There's so many beautiful tarot readers out there. And if you're leading with love, it's just like, okay, well, I guess like I don't need to understand. Like, I don't need to be, I don't know, something like that. Maybe this is like clarifying something for her. So maybe there's news coming in that when you actually like make a decision here or something is going to be revealed. Something is going to kind of like come to the surface. So I feel like you may need to protect your space. You may need to protect your energy. It may not make sense to other people. But the key with this is falling into some kind of like maybe social trap or some kind of social norm that says that you need to run your decisions by everybody else. And that that every decision you make for yourself needs to also like be okay for the other person. If you're well intended and it's not harming anybody, I really didn't think that it was going to be like, the end of the world or anything for me to just pull my energy away. I don't really think that I'm like that important to really anybody, So to me, it wouldn't have been a big deal for me to just like move away from the situation. And remind you, like, it's on Patreon. I get paid over there. So if I'm willing to forego like, and I just, I don't know. I would have handled this differently, but I do have the right to, okay. I remember what it was too. No, I know. And it was good advice too, Alma, like to relax into it. But like what I'm trying to demonstrate is that there was more going on here. And I was hesitant to like reveal it to you guys because I wasn't trying to drag my own mess like here into this live stream. Another thing that I've learned about tarot is that a lot of times it is personal. Sometimes the way that messages speak to me, and I feel like this is a lesson I'm meant to learn, it is personal. I always try to get myself into like a neutral state where I'm not relating into anything. But a lot of times the way the messages come through is I'll flash back to a memory or a way that I felt when I was 5 or 15 or like something, and spirit will convey the message to me in a personal way. So there's something here where it's like, maybe you're trying to be neutral in a situation, but the situation doesn't call for things to be neutral. And as a matter of fact, like that personal charge or like taking care of yourself is something that is meant to be kind of like, exposed or something here like that. And so now that I've kind of gotten that out of my system, I feel like I can kind of move forward kind of with this reading. So yeah, and it just feel like you're feeling a little bit shaky about that. And again, it's like another thing with that situation that I feel like might be relevant is that it was crazy. I had done this reading where it said, somebody who is not well-intentioned towards you is going to be coming back and they'll be asking you for advice or something like that. And I didn't really think that was for me. I read for other people. And then all of a sudden I had a situation like that occur and it was word for word. And I immediately thought of that reading. And that's why I couldn't let go of it. And I feel like something was unearthed or something was revealed. And it's just not something that I was comfortable with. So I just feel like there could be something revealed or something unearthed here. I'm like sweating. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the obstacle because I feel like it inhibited me from doing what it is that I need to do here, right? So there's something that, again, maybe you need to say directly, or something that's actually blocking your ability to do your job. And that's how I felt when I feel like there's energies around me that I'm not comfortable with. It inhibits me from doing my job. And I am responsible. You know, over on Patreon, we have a beautiful community that's like 400 people. And I read for 400 people. And I'm also a person, so 401 people, let's say. And you know, me putting the needs of one person over that's blocking my ability to do what I need to do for 400 other people is not something that is righteous or sane or smart or worthwhile. So I feel like there's something here like this where it's like you owe it, you need to show up for other people in your life, or something like that, and you're afraid that by telling somebody else that they need to exit, or that they, and you don't understand it yourself, you don't need to explain yourself, you have every right to operate as a person. I feel like this person is maybe trying to, again, like, she came here with her feelings and I understand that, but you know, at the end of the day, this is like not a Libran kind of a thing. And you know, where it's like, in my feelings, this, I understand that. Should you block him is a decision for you. I feel like this person could be potentially messing with your energy, messing you up. And I think that, don't think about him. You know what I mean? Should I block him? I feel like this is when I went through that process, I was worried about her. You know, should I block her? How is this, you know, going to affect her? But it was negatively affecting me for so long because I couldn't put it down. That she had done exactly what Spirit had warned me about in a previous reading. And then, you know, was asking me for advice, and then like went back and watched certain readings that she didn't pay for. And the whole thing, I felt disrespected. And I just really couldn't put down the energy that was the way I was being treated in that. I couldn't really put down. And of course I respect that she has her own like feelings about that. So I feel that with you guys, it's like, don't think about what it's going to do to them, because I feel like you're overly concerned about that. It's not your job to manage somebody's emotions. They can certainly have them. And if you are the only support system that a person has, the only place for them to come and turn to, it's a form of control. It's a form of manipulation. It's also not correct. It's not proper. It's not right. They have friends. They have family. They can get a therapist. You know, it's not fair for somebody to make you their only go-to, their only support. You don't owe them that. So I feel like I just kind of want to keep coming back to Rags Maisley's comment, should I block him? That's, how is this person affecting your energy? And get very honest about that. Get very honest with that and make your decision from that place. I'm hearing smooth as butter. When you make your decision from that place, then I feel like something is going to be like revealed. You know what I mean? So that's the blockage here. I'm so sorry, you guys. I feel like this entire reading was like bad, like from start to finish. I hope you're not disappointed in me. Like, and this maybe is how you feel, is like, I really had high hopes. I want to live in a world where we all get what it is that we want, you know, and I can be everything for everybody. But I think part of this is acknowledging your own limitations, acknowledging your own personhood, acknowledging that you're not perfect all the time, acknowledging that you're going to mess up, and that the people who love you are going to hold space for that. And it's not you having a human moment is not a personal affront to them, even if it does rub them the wrong way. They don't have to demonize you or make you bad, or, you know, try to, you know, show up and like disrupt your peace, you know? So, and a part of this, I feel like this is so strange because I feel like I was really a part of this reading today in a way that I'm not usually. Thank you so much for the $49.99, Lauren. Oh my gosh. 10,000 Buddhas is located. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I feel like my energy came in a lot to this. So I'm going to consider that maybe I have some things to learn here from this reading. But it's made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. It's thrown me off of my energy. And I feel like that's another thing where it's like accepting this other way of viewing the world or doing what it is that you maybe normally do and have an established pattern with is deeply uncomfortable. And maybe you feel like a fool when you're doing it. And maybe you feel like nobody's going to understand or give you the grace and the space to just be a person. Another thing is that maybe you feel like you are objectifying yourself, that you need to show up as a role. Like, hey, well, everybody's looking at me. Catherine, thank you so much for the $50. you know, like everybody's looking at me, everybody's expecting me to be this way. But in reality, they're kind of not really. I've learned that through being a tarot reader, because it's like, I really don't feel like you guys are expecting me to like put on a show for you. Like, I struggled and I feel like I was very supported. And I feel like that's just meaning to demonstrate something for you as well. That when you open up and you show your vulnerability and you show your human side and you show that you're not perfect or that you have certain struggles, things that you're afraid to show, that you can be seen and embraced, and it's fine. I just kind of want to cry. Yeah, like bust out, like just bust out of your shell. It's okay. And that's where you're going to find like the love here, and connect with that. So again, I feel like, I kind of have just given up on this reading. I feel like we're still in pile number 3, but this is just, I'm hearing give up the ghost. So for some of you, it's like there's something that you're trying to accomplish, but just like when you give up on it and you just connect with being a person, like just first and foremost, not, you know, trying to be the best engineer or doctor or teacher or construction worker or whatever it is, like, and instead you just focus on being the best human and showing up to your life and trying to deal with the loose ends of your life, that things will actually end up working out better. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Okay, yes. And just to make it up for you, I have 2 pre-recorded readings in the hole that I'm going to be releasing them, and they're very powerful readings. So I hope you won't feel like this is a total loss. Please, I mean, unsubscribe if you want to. Yeah. So truly appreciated the reading. And I think part of the lesson of this reading too is that at the end of the day, we're all just humans, like having a human experience, and that's what we're here to be doing. We're not here to like accomplish anything. And sometimes like we can get so in our head and so in our way that becomes the obstacle. Oh my God, I feel like that's the message for me. Sometimes we can get so in our head or so focused on trying to be something or do something that feels almost superhuman, you know, transcending human, transcending like ourselves, that it can kind of get in the way. And even with that, like making my decision to block somebody, I've blocked other people, you know, and just because I feel like it's disturbed my energy, or I don't like the way that I was treated, or, you know, whatever. And it's like just being like, I always felt like I was held to some kind of higher standard, that I needed to put up with bad things, because if I couldn't put up with an energy or a treatment that I didn't like, that it meant that I was a failure, or that it meant that I wasn't walking the talk. But it doesn't mean that. It just means that I'm a person, and no matter what it is that I'm trying to do. And I feel like you can give yourself a little bit of grace too, like whether it's like you're a parent, or like, you know, you're trying to do all these things, like that in and of itself, you striving to succeed, becomes the obstacle. I feel so deflated, but I feel like this is the message. It's like just unpuff the chest, just relax into it, you know, just be a person. It's powerful to just show up and be a person. Sometimes it's just, that's what's powerful. So now we're gonna move on to I think I'm going to get nonsensical with him. I'm so glad. And thank you guys for checking in with like what resonates for you. And just so you guys know, that's another thing, is like, it's easy to get stuck on like the certain negative comments. And my perspective on that more and more is just that I'm not here to be everybody's reader, and there's other people on YouTube, and I try to pay attention to like the positive comments and what people connect with in my reading, because I just have to trust that the people who are meant to be here and who are here for positive reasons are going to be here, you know, for those reasons, and that we're going to jive because we jive. So, okay. Yeah. And I can't stress this enough. Like, it's not like like stop trying to be a role. That's like really the thing. It's really hitting home for me too. But it's also like, whenever you're doing something powerful and life-changing and amazing, you might not feel like you're doing something powerful or life-changing or amazing. You might be in your pajamas, sweating up a storm in front of some people, you know, feeling like you're failing, feeling like you're not doing a good job. But it's just the courage to show up as you are that ends up changing the dynamic, you know? Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's move on to just the general message. Okay. Okay. Just the general message. Hermit. Okay. Seek solitude to focus intently on inner life. So, I feel like, you need to heal. Healing from this trickster energy. I mean, that's just really what it is. It's okay to take time out. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to, just need to tend to your own energy. It doesn't mean like anything about you. This trickster energy. It doesn't mean anything about you. It means everything about them and what it is that they're doing and who they are and what they're trying to accomplish. I'm seeing here with the Hermit card that you are a wise person. You are somebody who is deeply internal and self-reflective and self-aware. Don't worry about gossip. Don't worry about what other people are going to think. Just take time out to take care of you and what you need. I feel like you are the type of person where it's like you just think about what other people need or how something could potentially come off to somebody else. That again could be a trigger, or like you could accidentally trip somebody's ego and cause them to lash out at you, and then you feel like that's your fault, right? That's kind of been like the theme. Don't worry about the gossip. Don't look at it from that lens. And if you need to like pull your energy back for a while, then do that. Do what you need. And that goes back to Rags Maisley when she was like, should I block him? And I was saying, don't think about him, what's going to do to him. Think about you. Think about what you need. This is definitely a time to think about what you need. And if you do need to go hermit mode here for a little bit, because this person has a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment here. This card always gives me the creeps in this deck, and it coming out with the trickster and the gossip energy. Like, I just feel like, and that it doesn't reflect on you. This person's going to pick on somebody, whether it's you or whether it's somebody else. That's just how they are. And you need to challenge the authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve your inner needs. And this goes back to what my husband was saying, that that quote of be careful not to let your morality get in the way of you doing what's right. So reject those spiritual systems that are not serving your inner needs. You're not required to sacrifice or martyr yourself for other people. That's not where your goodness comes from. You are okay to be an independent person and to be strong and to stand up for yourself and to turn certain corners in your life. Be a liberator. Liberate yourself. Healer, heal thyself. Liberator, liberate yourself. Liberate yourself from these things. And this is what I mean by like we're all walking each other home. Like sometimes just watching somebody else overcome something. Maybe that's like, I feel like I did a lot of stuff today, and it probably doesn't maybe seem like a big deal to you guys, but I feel like that's kind of why this is a part of my path. It's because the stuff that I kind of did today, like literally on the internet, it was hard for me. Like it was hard for me to do a lot of these things, but I did it, and I'm trying. It was rusty. I feel so bad. But I'm trying this, and sometimes like that's what it is. It's like when you see somebody else trying, then you want to try, and then somebody's going to see you trying, and then like that's what it is. We all just kind of turn our little lights on. And yeah, just opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. I feel like there's somebody who's trying to mooch off of you, or two is trying to be a dependent like towards your energy, and you rejecting that is like not allowing that, or not feeling like that's some kind of soulmate connection or something like that. Is actually you moving in the right direction and stepping into your own power with the femme fatale card. And I just heard, you are a child of the divine, and I'm hearing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. So it's like, you just be determined to let your light shine and let it be your light. Stop changing it or tainting it. That's what it really is. Stop trying to change it to make other people feel comfortable. It's your light. Shine your light, Alex is the MVP who got these people and walked them out of the room. Oh, thank you guys so much. And you guys are great too. And I do just want to say, I've spent a lot of time thinking about this, why I feel so rejuvenated doing the live streams, because it really does take out of me. Like okay, like I guess I'm just uncovering a lot of stuff here. Like I have OCD, where I can get kind of obsessive compulsive, and like I feel like things, sorry. Have to be perfect, or like I can't put them out there because I can almost hear the criticism or like the attacks that I'm gonna get if I don't say things in just the right way. And so I could like really get on a loop with that. So I think I mentioned this in another reading, where that's what kind of got me back into therapy, is because I tried to record a reading for 9 hours straight one time, and I talked my throat till it was bloody in the back. So my therapist really helped me to see that I'm not any of those things that people could accuse me of being uncaring or being, you know, not trying to take responsibility for the things that I put out into the world, because I would hurt myself so badly. To not do that. So I get nervous sometimes around recording the pre-recorded because I'm so scared that I'll get into the OCD hole. But I've been doing really well, and I just want to say, like, the live streams, like when I like here on Patreon, and I've been doing the ones on Patreon for a lot longer, when I tap into your energy, it is very healing for me. Especially after I've kind of gotten rid of certain energies that I felt like I needed to. And I feel like the wind is in my sails, and I feel like I'm rejuvenated after doing readings instead of depleted. So this was difficult. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave this video up on my channel because it makes me nervous to be this vulnerable. But I just feel like this is really who I am, and I do get worried that sometimes people don't see me. So this has been horribly embarrassing. But also freeing. So okay, I always just try to be so strong, because I do see a lot of tarot readers. I've seen them kind of crumble under the pressure of all of this, and I've noticed it, and I've just felt so some type of way. I remember watching this one tarot reader that I love and respect, and you know, she had it, you know, and she just kind of, you know, like was yelling at certain people on the chats, and she's so not like that, you know. And I just could relate to her, and I was like, man, sometimes things get to me too, but I never wanted to show how much sometimes things get to me, but sometimes they do. Okay. I think I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys for being here and a part of my community. And I'm probably... Heather, thank you so much for the $100. This feels so strange to be just like crying and having people give me money. So sometimes this is what strength looks like. And this has been going on behind the scenes for a lot of time. Not all the time. And I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and I feel passionate and meaningful. Like, this is meaningful work. But sometimes I guess what goes on behind the scenes comes out. Oh my gosh, I'm also one last thing, and then I'm gonna tie this up. I'm having a flashback. So it was the first time that I had been a manager, and it was a really hard time. I worked like an 80-hour week because I just wanted everything to be perfect. You're noticing a theme. I didn't want anybody to suffer the way that I had suffered. Thank you so much. So I had really been through it, and we were at this manager's meeting, and I didn't have, like, you know, health insurance as a part of my job. I was not being paid well, and I just broke down into tears, and I said, you know, nobody should have to be doing this. And I was crying in front of literally every manager that was there, in front of all the big wigs at the company and everything. And I was so horribly embarrassed because I thought that people were going to think that I couldn't handle the pressure, and that I was going to be a bad manager, and that, you know, I wasn't capable or strong because I was having such a visceral reaction to certain things. And we left, and my boss at the time, who I immensely respected, and he just seemed to have this way about him where he was just like a natural born leader, and nothing ever seemed to bother him. And I just apologized profusely because I felt like I was an embarrassment. And he looked at me and he said, you know, that was probably the best and most powerful thing that you could have done in there. And I really think things are going to change. And they did. And they did. So maybe this is, even though it's not what my ego wanted to cry on camera, maybe this was what needed to come through. So All right. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all of us walking each other home, showing up. I really do look forward to Fridays. I will try not to cry anymore. and, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So thank you for being my people. Thanks for looking out for me. Bye.